Networks don't talk about it. Government can't tax it. But sports betting is a $200 billion a year business.
That's a major U.S. Supreme Court ruling that could open the door for legalized sports betting all across the country.
The Supreme Court is giving the green light for states to determine on their own whether they want to legalize sports gambling.
Tell Donahue his next pick is good for 20 grand, but I need him to guarantee a win, okay? I need a lock.
He's not that fucking good.
No, Tommy, he has to. All right, he has to, or else they're going to kill me. Do you realize this, Tommy? They're going to fucking kill me. I can't afford to gamble anymore. I need a fucking lock.
Tuesday, March 11th. Welcome into Lock Talk. It is Jake O'Kane with you for what I would consider truly the first day of conference tournament week. We are chock-loaded with action, 24 games to tip. They start at 11. They run all the way through midnight. It is going to be a blast. More than 12 hours of basketball on the docket today. We are going to blast through 7 games that I have action in. Before we get to that, day off yesterday, I took a complete day off. There really, truly nothing I could really find that I liked too much. I was thinking about fading Gonzaga. Good thing that I didn't, but we are going to do that later on today. So a little bit of a preview there. On the month, we're 34-18 up 10.49 units. We did take our first L stream on Sunday, ended up 1-4. However, our best play hit, so we only lost 1.5 units, so really didn't lose a lot. The way that's by design. That's the whole idea behind the way that I bet. Before we talk about the games today, let's talk about Lock Talk, not the podcast. Lock Talk, the app, makes it equally confusing. It is on the Google Play Store. It is on the App Store. Super excited. I am actually getting on there today for the first time to talk some shit, drop all my action in there, all my notes. Very, very pumped to keep that going through March. So make sure you're checking that out. Big shout out to Joey and the gang for Lock Talk. Let's talk today, because today is going to be, again, like I said, we technically played games yesterday and there were conference tournaments played last week, but Tuesday games at 11 o'clock. That's truly conference tournament play. And I'm going to start right there. Usually game one, play one. I don't usually like to do that, but here we are. I got Oklahoma State catching 6.5 against Cincinnati. Let's get it cooking. Usually, like I said, standalone games, no goes from me to public, but this is too many points to pass up. It was a 78-67 victory to wrap up the season in Stillwater last weekend. Now, do I think they're going to sweep the 2-game season series? No. Plus 230-ish kind of makes sense. Let's look at 3 things that went right in game one that they can replicate here in game 2. Starting from distance, the Cowboys were super picky from 3, shooting just 7 of 9. It's not happening like that, again, precision-wise. However, that's less than half their volume, and on a team that shoots right around 33%, 7 threes can easily be done again. On the flip side, Cincy, they had 3 times their volume and had the exact same production. Not so strong. 50% of their volume comes from both of their shooting guards when it comes to 3-pointers. And then we move inside, and honestly, we could talk about guards a little bit, but when it comes to this matchup, we're talking about the big men, and I'm going to murder both names, Abu Osame and Aziz Bandango inside. Those boys can bang. I expect to be very, very aggressive. It's surprising with all the size that is on the floor. Neither of them crack the top 200 in rebounding. But when you only run really the one traditional 5/4 stretch 4, I guess you could say in this scenario. But the last thing I want to talk about, the discrepancies that we see from the free throw line, especially in a game with a 6.5-point spread. OSU last time shot 10 more free throws, and that tracks. They're 14th in the country in getting to the line. They're 14th in makes and shoot a really respectable 73%. For the Cowboys, it's just going to be another way to find points against a really stingy defense. What sticks out to me the most, Cincy's free throw shooting and how poor it is. Cincy, they went to the line just 7 times in game 1. They made 4 of them. They're 355th in the country in getting to the free throw line. They only get there 14 times a game, and they're poor at executing. 66% from the line, 344th nationally. And again, like I said, when you need to cover 6.5, you got to be a good free throw shooting team. You at least got to be respectable, and they're not respectable. So I'm taking Oklahoma State to start the day plus 6.5. Game number 2, it's going to be tipping right after this one. It's Notre Dame over 66.5, the team total against Pittsburgh. Hey, I got a few guys in chat. It is going to be a glorious week, everybody. It absolutely is. We got Paul, we got Soda. Everybody's in here today. Love it. Let's talk Notre Dame and Pitt. Don't love having the first 2 games on the board, but that's just what we're going to roll with. The Irish, no offensive powerhouse. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass, but they shoot well, and they do it efficiently with a bottom 100 pace. So very average in both taking and giving the ball away. They're strong at the free throw line. I think they're pretty much the definition of mid when it comes to offensive production. But let me tell you, mid can get you 67 points in desperate times. In a win or go home game for both sides, we got Pitt on the other side. They went down the stretch horribly, 5-12. They went from a top 25 team, 12-2, kind of was a dark horse, and now they have NIT written all over them. Their defense has been kind of their Achilles heel. They do allow a respectable 71.4 points per game, but their defensive rating is outside the top 200. Shocking, yes, but the points per game is heavily swayed due to poor performances from teams at home. Now, on the road, they're 3-9, and this is a fun one. If you go back all the way to December 7th, that's the last time that they've allowed a team to score under this total, not in their own building. It's actually only happened twice this season. So it was Virginia Tech, who we all know about, and LSU. So I like this one, half unit going Notre Dame over 65.5. Central Connecticut State laying 5.5 against St. Francis in the first half. Yeah, we talked about them last week. Central Connecticut, an absolute wagon first half against the spread. They doubled up FDU in their last matchup for us last week. Much appreciated. And we're going back to the well. And for a refresher, for those of you that weren't here last time, 24-7 against the spread, average 6.5 point differential at halftime. They've now covered 10 of their last 11, including 5 in a row. I think the first half is going to be a major talking point going into this game. In their first 2 matchups, the Blue Devils came out sluggish defensively. They gave up 38 and 41 points respectively. We know they can be better because in the second half, they gave up a combined 48 points. Now, there's not much else they can really improve on. So I do think their coaches are going to come out and tell them, hey, you need to start this game better. I do think this is going to end up being an absolute rout, but I like Central just covering that first half line moving forward and punching their ticket. Moving on, Northwestern State against McNeese State, and I'm fading McNeese State. Plus 17.5 is where the line goes. And don't get me wrong, the videos with the manager are great. Awesome. It's exactly what we love to see in March. Now, we talk about how hard it is to beat a team 3 times. It is exponentially harder to beat a team 3 times and beat them 3 times by 15 each time when the team is good enough to make it to your conference championship game. Let's look at the Demons here, which phenomenal name, by the way, phenomenal mascot. They're 18-11 against the spread overall. They've covered 5 straight. They're 8-2 in their last 10, 12-4 away from home and as dogs against the spread. The storyline versus reality is always a really, really hard one to balance in March. And in this one, I really do think Northwestern State, the Demons kind of hang in there. I expect a hard-fought battle. I do think McNeese State is going to win this game, but I don't think they're going to win it by 18. Moving on to the Horizon, where I was really, really, really hoping to see UWM in this game, but instead we see Robert Morris. They're laying 3.5 against Youngstown State. I like Robert Morris. They split this season, but the Colonials, if you've been watching, unbelievable team against the spread. 25-7 overall, 9-1 in their last 10, 14-5 as the favorite. In their last 4 games, they've covered by an average of more than 9 points. They're absolutely cruising. Youngstown, 3-2 straight up down the stretch, 1-4 against the spread. Actually came into their tournament game last time out as a 2.5-point dog against Cleveland State. Somehow they won that game despite shooting 12 of 23 from the free throw line and allowing 8 of 12 from 3. It felt like a game that they never really had control of. They just dumbed down the pace. But yes, Stooley, good point. Scored 5 points in OT, covered the 2.5 last night. That is a very good fact. Bob Morris does have it. It's just a great story, obviously, coming into the Horizon. a league that has not really produced any teams that could make any sort of a run in the NCAA tournament, minus, obviously Oakland knocking off Kentucky. But I mean, this is a really, really good Robert Morris team. I think they're going to take care of business. I like them laying 3.5 here today. So let's keep it moving. Fairfield, the Sacred Heart over 143.5 going in this one. Look for the Pioneers to dictate the pace. They kind of did that in the first two matchups. They run at a top 50. We saw games finish with 145 and 148. Fairfield, I don't want to blow smoke up your ass. I feel like I'm obligated to tell you they're one of the worst shooting teams in the country. However, they eclipsed their season average in both games. We saw them play really, really loose in their game on Sunday against Quinnipiac. It was an 83-74 win. Like I said, Hart loves to run. They don't play much defense. They allowed both Manhattan and Iona to hang 90, 3.5. It reeks. Yeah, no, it does reek. But anyways, both of these teams, they are ones that can pretty much let it rain from three, flip-flop. Pios ranked 334th in opponent 3-point field goal percentage. Holy shit. That is a tough one to say. They allow a whopping 36% from their opponents from three. It's led to opponents averaging more than 76 points per game, and number touches nearly 80 at home. Offensively, top 103 point shooting and 37th in volume. I like it going north of the number. It's 143.5. And the last one, this is just basically a straight fade because I didn't do it yesterday. I'm taking St. Mary's. St. Mary's plus the 3.5. I'm interested to see where people land on this game. I just don't think that highly of Gonzaga. I haven't done it all season, but I've been doing that pretty much my whole life. And Gonzaga consistently comes back to bite me in the ass, but I'm going to take SMC in this one. SMC, I don't remember the last time they swept a 3-game season series with Gonzaga. Has it ever happened? Exactly. No chance they lose 3 times to them. No chance at all. But maybe there is a chance. I think there's a good chance. That line, by the way, just moved out to 4 at Bet Rivers down in Illinois at -113. So slowly moving away. The public perception is definitely with Gonzaga. So, all right, that's going to be my last one. Let's run through it again. St. Mary's plus 3.5 against the Zags. Fairfield Sacred Heart over 143.5. Robert Morris minus 3.5 against Youngstown. Northwestern State plus 17.5 against McNeese State. Central Connecticut State minus 5.5 in the first half against St. Francis, Pennsylvania. Notre Dame over 66.5 against Pitt. And then we're going to start the day off here this morning. Oklahoma State plus 6.5 against Cincinnati. And honestly, I didn't say it before, I might sprinkle money line in that game. I really do like Oklahoma State, but for right now, we're just going to keep that the half unit play. Other than that, Stooley with one last little tidbit here. Gonzaga has a bottom 20 defense. They suck. Kansas Gonzaga money line fading both of them in the first round of the tourney. Got to respect that. Some traditional powers not looking as powerful. We're going to have all sorts of stuff like that. We got UConn. That's going to be one of those mid-tier seedings as well. It's going to be super, super fun. But other than that, that's all I got for today. Nice and short and sweet, keeping it under 15 minutes. That is going to change as we get more volume as the week goes on. And as the week goes on, tomorrow back again live at 6 o'clock in the morning. The boys headed back into the office. So we got 6 o'clock streams pretty much the rest of the week. Saturday and Sunday, we'll kind of play it by ear. Saturday, I think we'll still do early. Maybe split it up into 2. I don't think we're going to have the volume to split it into 2 streams like we did last week, but we'll see. And then Sunday, definitely look for something, whether it be a stream, whether it be a quick little video. We're going to get the action out there, but always keep it at under 15 minutes. Appreciate everybody for hopping in. 37 live viewers. Got to love it. Stay sharp. Good luck. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.